Hello, my friends. Today's date is January the 18th, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date, or if this is an anniversary or a special occasion date. You can extrapolate. Um, but this is primarily a birthday reading for those born on this date, January the 18th. This is a four-card reading. First card is a general energy card of something that might feel sustained through the year or something that might come into pop you and make you notice and make you uh, have to do something different. The second card is a challenge card you might face this year. The third is an action you could take to stay in balance. And the fourth is a general outcome or a synopsis card. We can talk about that as it comes up. The general energy card for the year is the medallion. So, what does the medallion ask you to reflect upon? Uh, that sometimes we are given objects or we give objects with an attachment to them. And sometimes we make some kind of, when we receive them, sometimes we make some kind of contract or binding or bonding with somebody, a sacred ring, a sacred talisman, a sacred piece of jewelry, a sacred thing, in essence. Uh, and oftentimes, we'll go along and we'll either forget about that bonding or we'll hold strong to that bonding. But then we come to a time when that bonding d- doesn't seem like it fits into our life anymore and doesn't seem like it fits into our truth anymore and needs to be re-examined and understood from fresh perspectives and fresh new places. There's sometimes say you have to cut the bond, you have to give the piece away or sanctify it in a new way or honor it in a different way, but some way that allows you the freedom for you to be you anymore, because uh, the bonding is usually not something that wants to stop you if you're given a gift, but sometimes the unspoken agreements about things, or even the spoken ones, can hold us into patterns uh, that keep us from really being our authentic and highest selves. So it's just a reflection upon, what do you hold as sacred? What do you hold as the bonds that happen if a gift is given or an object that someone holds in great um, power and gives it to you? What does that mean to you? How does that affect you? And how do you clean up any energy around that may not be serving you in the time? So this is your particular challenge this year, is the Knight of Swords. And the Knight is on a quest, often to the exclusion of whatever are the other three suits. Knight of Swords wants an understanding, wants an analysis, is a deep studier, is looking into something, is possibly going to school or going to studies or working so hard at some kind of writing, or but they're extremely focused generally on pursuing this goal of studying something, putting it into the mind, analyzing it, learning to communicate about it, coming into deep knowledge about it. But there's a challenge for you to do that. And what's the challenge for you to do that, especially when it's connected to the medallion? Do you have something? Have you committed to somebody? Something that says right now there's some kind of bond that's in the way of you studying. There's some kind of bond that's in the way of you going deeply into your pursuit of your mind and your understanding. Is is you know is is there someone who is holding you to a bond that's different than the one that you feel like is really calling you? And maybe it's one that's very important to you, but you have to, I think, this year understand that some kind of bond might be with some kind of medallion, some kind of connection, some kind of um, statement, or some kind of feeling underneath something might hold some um, capture for you, and you need to work through that. And you have to understand sometimes that you have to let go of um, the the mind pursuit, which wants to drive quite often, and maybe take a break, and maybe take a rest, and maybe go deal with this other thing, this other energy that holds some kind of bond that says, well, maybe you need to take care of some ritual, or say, take care of some sanctity, or say, take care of some holiness that your medallion is speaking to you about, and go and do something for somebody, with yourself, for yourself, on a whole different level than what the mind is talking about. And then you have to trust that everything is flowing in the right time and space. Here's the butterfly. Everything is flowing in the right time and space. This is the action to take. The understanding that things go in stages, and that you can't push the river, and sometimes the greatest thing that you want needs to be tempered with patience and practice and rest from it and a break from it, so you can come back fresh and rejuvenated to study it, to do it, to honor it again. So the recognition that if you're in some deep study, like the Knight of Swords says, you probably are, but it's being broken up by something else, someone else, that if you can go and take care of that someone else or something else, that the next stage will be there. You don't have to push. The right time will come. Being in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, is what the butterfly says to sink yourself into, and to allow yourself to go in stages, and not to think that you need to be there now, at the end of your journey now, with this study under your belt now, with this understanding under your belt now. Your understanding will come in the right time and in the right place. Open your heart, open more than your head, open your body, get out of your head. Knight of Swords is often in their head, to the exclusion of being in their heart, to the exclusion of being in their body, to the exclusion even of often being in their sense of identity and will. The only identity and will you might have is the one that says, I want to be known as studying that. I want to have that in my consciousness. I see myself as that. Professor, teacher, lawyer, judge, understander, however the Knight of the Swords, the mind, the communication calls you to be. But if that is your pursuit, and that's what you feel like is your sacred pursuit, on a lot of levels it is your sacred pursuit, to speak the highest, the holiest, the greatest understandings, to let yourself transcend the limitations that have been presented to you. But you can only do that by trusting in bigger pictures, and opening your heart, and feeling your body, and giving yourself rest, and letting yourself go at the right volume of speed and act and will, which is what the Knight of Swords is needs to learn, to practice patience, and to practice levels and layers and seasons of understanding, and just to keep growing, but do things beyond just the mind. And sometimes those connections, those old connections, are really very powerful connections that say we have to honor something that we committed to. So let's go and honor it with great heart and great love and great truth and great power, and trust that it's something that we really also need to know about deep in our psyches and deep in our minds, to experience this other thing that we might be reluctant to do in the first place. So that's how I think the medallion comes into play, and I think it's for your highest and holiest good that you feel into it, understand it deeply, allow it to work its magic against the magic that you are creating in your world, in the lane that you think you're specifically cut out for. Let it expand, let it relax in time. Don't push the river. Love yourself. Ahom Atar.